hear what I think, what I thought your doppelganger was, I think you'll laugh.
Oh my gosh, tell me.
I was thinking of Lala Anthony.
How did I forget Lala? How did I forget Lala? I get that too. And
The
honestly, I
smile.
admire that.
Hey everyone, this is James Emery, the founder and host of the Thrive and Vibe podcast, and hope you actually enjoyed the previous episode where I actually interviewed Israel Rodriguez, the mural artist, the painter, and one of Houston's icon, about how he was able to get to where he's at, about like with painting all the other Houston murals and doing a lot of commission projects, such as like with with Shaquille O'Neal, doing paintings like Kobe Bryant, Cristiano Ronaldo, and many more. But of course, hope you got some great insight, like how he was able to kind of go to get to where he's at, even though it's been like more than 10 years in coming. So for this episode 18, I actually was very fortunate enough to really get in touch, quickly get in touch with one of my old friends. We actually met at a modeling agency here in Houston around like 9 years ago. And she is not a Houstonian, surprisingly. She actually hails from, where are you from?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, yes. But of course, it's my good friend, Serenity. She is a CEO, she's a creative director, a talent agency, entrepreneur, and an all-around badass, and a baddie, and just a force to reckon with here in Houston, Texas. And yeah, I introduce you, Serenity Hill. Serenity, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh no, that's a pleasure having you here. It's been like a long time coming. Like, what was it? Now, I know I told you that. Well, I told our listeners and viewers that we met at the agency. It's been like what, 9 years now?
Yeah, about 9 years.
Oof. Yeah.
8-hour photo shoot.
8-hour photo shoot for a comp card. So for those of you guys who don't know what a comp card is, it's pretty much, well, I'll just use this iPad as an example. So you have your comp card here, and basically it's just like it'll be like this size, and it will be like photos of your headshots, side profiles, and everything of like what you're showing your best assets are, and you just hand it out to modeling scouts or any creative directors, like a resume. So basically, it was our modeling resume.
Yeah, our portfolio.
Yeah, our portfolio. Like to start, I only had 3 photo shoots. Serenity had more, probably 10x more than me. And again, in the industry where it's very female dominated, you know, your pretty boy here, Zane, is not. It was not cut out for it. So, yeah. So we were. Yeah, I think after that we were going off of different paths, but thanks to me being able to kind of reach out to you in social media and still keep you connected. Like, it was a good way to kind of like engage with ourselves and
Right.
you know, just stay connected. And to, again, really thank you a lot for coming out to be on my podcast. So,
Yes, of course.
yeah. So you've heard about the Thrive and Vibe podcast, like some of the episodes, and which one do you think you kind of resonate the most? Like the most recent one or some older ones?
I would think some of the older ones.
Really?
I've been looking at a mix of different ones, and I like how they're all very encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hear business mindsets and different opinions and how people are able to thrive, like you said, within their business and personally too, because it's really motivational to see someone and you're thinking you're always alone in something,
Yeah.
and then they say something that resonates with you, and you're like, wow, I really vibe with that. I take that in.
Yeah, like we're all truly, even though we feel like we want to be alone in our journey and with our entrepreneur, or even try to balance it out with like our life. But as you hear anyone, just we're all pretty much the same. Like, we're all kind of the same in our struggle. So I was able to kind of provide that platform for any other listeners or viewers who are kind of being their own entrepreneur journey. It's like, hey, we're all in this together. Like, you're not truly alone. So yeah, but again, there was the Thrive and Vibe. I do ask them, like all our guests, like, you know, how they're thriving in their project, in their business. And then Vibe is like, out of that day-to-day hustle, what do they do to kind of like for fun, recreation, or just to recharge? But of course, starting more deep into it, like, yeah, tell the listeners and viewers, like, where you're from, where you're originally from, and how'd you get to where you are at right now?
All right. So I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Go Packers, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.
I moved here when I was about in Houston, about 13, 14 years old, through family, and I've been growing ever since.
Yeah.
When I met you, I think I was like 19. We were signed to an agency, and that was great. And from there, I continued to grow in modeling. I've always loved to model, and being in front of the camera, I would have a lot of time waiting and being behind the camera, and I would see certain things on set that was wrong, or the videographer was taking advantage of the client and not having someone in frame. You know, small things that you would think would be like common.
It makes a big difference, though.
Right.
It's like, and of course, you were 19, maybe you didn't really kind of think of it, but as you kind of grow older, you're like, okay, that's something that I want to avoid. So anyone that goes through my shoe, or 19-year-old Serenity, you'd be
like, am I going to have an agency later? Like,
yeah.
So, and that's exactly what happened. Everyone, I was in model mindset, where I just like, everyone's like, oh, you should have an agency, you should do this, you should manage people, you should direct, you should do that. And I'm like, I just want to be a model. I just want to do runway. I just want to do photo shoots.
And they're all telling you this at 19?
Yes. So
Really?
everyone's like seeing my, how I act and my behavior on set, and like, you should, you have a good eye, you see this and see that. And so from there, I started directing more. I've been a creative director for like the last 5.5 years, where I direct photo shoots, fashion shows, music videos, runway, like different events. It just kind of fell in my lap that way. And I still did not want an agency or a business where I did something like that. But it just kept happening naturally.
Yeah.
And I just allowed it to happen. I let my supporters around me, my family, my friends, business partners, I started listening a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can manage some people. So maybe I can do this. And it started as like, let me train people. I don't want to, manage them. I can train people. So I've been a runway coach. I've been an acting coach. I've had this experience. I've been a modeling, posing coach. So let me just implement that. And from that, we developed the Serenity Project, which is our talent agency. So now I went from just modeling to my team manage models, actors, influencers, holistic healers,
Music. Oh, that's new.
music artists.
That's new.
Yeah, music artists, and the list goes on and on. If you have talent, we're able to manage you, help train you, and it's just been really beautiful because I've been still being able to model and continue directing, and it's like that's a whole other service that's like one big creative hub.
Yeah.
So I just want it to be the person in their ear that I wish I had modeling. Like, you don't have to do this, or say yes to this, say no to that. And it's been a nice, natural family environment. And I'm happy I took that risk and didn't listen to 19-year-old me back then.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to kind of ask you this question. Maybe I did ask you this question when I first met you, but I'm just going to ask right now. Like, what really kind of inspired you to really like model or go do, like, what really inspired this 19-year-old Serenity? Was it like someone's assumption that like you should model and just try this out, like go in that industry, or you saw something on TV thinking, I think I could do that?
So honestly, when they say it runs in the family, it runs in the family.
Okay, family.
My parents were both models growing up. My mom was a model when she was a kid, and my dad was a model when he was a teenager. He did lots of runway work and print work, and he was also in film. He was a director. And that's something they let go when they were younger, but they were
like, let's instill in our kids.
And my grandmother was a model as well when she was a teenager. So it goes way back.
Two generations deep, or three?
Yeah. So my family they're really big on fashion, and that was something I was always around, and I was always told to make sure I'm looking good and doing this and doing that. So runway, when I was a kid, I always did fashion shows for my family. Yeah. So it kind of just sparked from them.
Wow, no, and it's still going to continue sparking. Like, I'm pretty sure they're giving you more than 100% support in whatever you're doing, and yeah, like
they're
that's
very
really
supportive.
No, that's really amazing, and from Wisconsin too.
What does that mean?
Okay, as a guy, I've already been in the Midwest, and I lived in Iowa for 4 years. I go to Iowa State University Cyclones, but yeah, I've been to Wisconsin like 6 times, and I don't know. It really doesn't really. Maybe some particularly one hidden gem that would definitely make a fashion show. But if you're really serious about taking fashion to a whole new level, yeah, like go go to New York City, go to
Yeah,
New
you have to
York,
move out
go
your.
to
You sometimes have to move out your hometown or go where the fashion is big.
Yeah. Like, and have you been doing like traveling with your Serenity Project to really kind of get like a lot of your talents like acclimated, or you get work done, and of course, yeah, and make an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, which of the places that you recently traveled to?
Ooh, where have I just gone? I can't even think right now because
Really?
I travel a lot. I'm even have a shoot tomorrow in Dallas.
Oh, shit.
But we travel a lot. We had something recently in Baton Rouge for a concert, and then Dallas, back and forth to Dallas and Austin a lot. Those are really big spots in Texas, but there are opportunities everywhere. So wherever they are, I just send my people, and if they're able to go, they're able to go, and we just work it out from there.
Yeah. So and when you first, how old is the Serenity Project right now?
As a company, we've only been open for like a year and a half.
A year and a half.
But I've been modeling for 10 years and directing for 5.
Directing for 5.
So as a company, I finally said, yes, let me just make it official.
Like establish the LLC, get your EIN number.
Yeah,
and
all of the
business
things.
credit card.
Yeah, so I was like, I really don't want to do this, but it keeps falling in my lap. And if I don't jump on this now, it's going to keep tugging at me. So I had to just jump on it.
I relate to you on that. Like, for this podcast, and again, for my listeners and viewers, it's a true story that I started this podcast 8 months ago, but it was something that was resonated in me since like October to November 2022. And I remember like my brothers and sister, even when my friend Nick Nguyen, he told me like, or they all told me that you should do a podcast. You really like to vibe with people. You could be a promoter, but we might as well just do a podcast. And I know exactly how you felt. Like, okay, I need to kind of start this. Just rip off the Band-Aid. Just really go. For it. Just go for it. Like, what else is there? Like, the worst thing is that I could just fail. But I think I'm thriving right now. And I'm being with you right now.
I would say so.
Yeah. Wow. 1 year. I thought you've been doing it for like 3 years, but then you made it seem like, well, to me at least, you made it seem like you've been doing it for many years.
I have. So I've been, but just not under my company name.
Yeah.
So we haven't, we've been doing this for a while. Everyone I work with has had a very lengthy, production background.
Yep.
So it just all, like I said, happened very naturally. And we were just, if someone's like, hey, I know this model who directs, and sometimes she trains people, and sometimes she's managed. So it's like all these different names, or it's like, oh, I know this person, or their project manager, this or that. So we just made it into a hub, a company, the Serenity Project, for creatives by creatives. So all things creative, we're able to develop outside of that and within it.
Mm-hmm. So in part of the Serenity Project, actually, now you got me curious about the name Serenity. Does Serenity actually have a deep meaning, or it's just...
It's my name.
Besides your name, but does it have a deep meaning?
Yes.
Does your name have a deep meaning for all our listeners?
Yes,
and
if you don't know the word serenity itself, it means peace, joy, and tranquility.
I see.
So my aunt named me.
Yeah.
And so... peace, joy, walk in peace and joy.
So
and
so I do a project with you, Serenity Project, be peace, joy, and tranquility.
Yes, we're going to make it the most smooth project we ever worked on.
Man, that's a lot of vibe there. That's a good vibe there.
Yeah.
But no, that's really great though. But and part of the Serenity Hill project, the Serenity Project what's been like your greatest achievement, and then tie in with one of their interesting challenges.
Okay. Very easy. We were only probably 6 months into our company, and we had a really big fashion show in Houston.
Oh, really?
And that is one of the many success. A lot of our talent have a lot of success, like going on tour with big names and lots of different performances, or going to New York Fashion Week, or being on TV, or being, it's a lot of different things that all of our talent is so many different things to highlight.
And yourself included as a talent, or is this when you're really being director mode?
Yeah, this is me, director mode, agent mode. I've had my ups, but my talent, when they have their different success, that means that my team was able to do something to be part of their career to push them.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So the fashion show is one of my biggest highlights because we had 34 models.
34?
Yes.
How'd you manage 34 models?
And I closed out the show walking, and I haven't did runway since COVID. Yeah. So it was a really big deal for me. We had a sold out show.
Wait, is 2020 or 2021?
This was well, I'm saying COVID, we didn't have runway shows. So I didn't do runway since then, but last year, 2022 was our big runway show. Wow. And we had a lot of people show up, a lot of support, and we were shocked, overwhelmed how on time people were, how many people were coming, how we were selling out of things. And it was really insane. But from that, I learned so much. I learned what to do, what not to do. I learned a lot of paperwork. Because, now it's a lot of NDAs about certain things. I'm way more careful about my ideas. I'm careful about who I work with.
Especially 34 models. Yeah. Like, that's 34 lives you have to really manage and make sure they're doing what they need to do. And of course, I don't know if you deal with a PR, if a model does something outlandish.
Yeah, we deal with all those type of things, but having the show, I was able to meet so many different personalities and everything, and different opportunities, and watch them grow and develop relationships with these models. And they all have really interesting lives, and we were able to, see each other on a very often basis. And it was, doing a show like that, it's an intimate type of thing. It's a new feeling. You never know what's going to happen. And to answer your question about you're kind of the
most interesting challenge.
Yeah,
I don't want to say the word failure, but I like to say challenge.
Yeah, the challenge. I would say business partners dropping out, and even within that that fashion show, we had it was kind of tragic, kind of sad moment, and beautiful moment. We had one of the designers had gotten a crazy freak accident, passed. And I lost it. I was like, how am I going to go on? How is the show going to go on? We have a week, and our designer passed away. And I was just trying to figure out what is going on. And she was headed to Fashion Week. And from that, she had a twin sister. And the sister reached out. And I was literally typing, how can I honor her? And her sister called me, didn't have my number, had her things, was able to, get her things and continue the show. And it was really, really, really beautiful. And it was it brought us chills. It was very warming. It brought the whole model family even closer together. And it made us value our passion, because, she was going up there for Fashion Week, doing something she loved. She was a designer. Mm-hmm. And the fact that her sister is able to, have that baton and keep the legacy going, it was whoa, this is crazy. This is our first event. Some tragic moment happened. Business partners backed out, and this is what we have. This is what we made it work, and it was really beautiful.
Wow, that's the fact that you didn't want to drop the show. You went with the attitude, the show must go on. Yes, it's really tragic, and I liked it that what you shared with me, that you were able to change your perspective. That the twin sister, if it weren't the twin sister, really reaching out to you and. Kind of it's kind of like a very interesting death wish in a way. You're honoring that death, and you still kept it really positive, and you let everyone know. And of course, I'm pretty sure the audience felt the same way too.
Yeah, it was a very, I don't know, it was emotional, it was beautiful, it was sad, it was happy. It was so many emotions for everyone.
It's all of the above there.
Yeah, it's all of the above. And it was wow, this was our first show.
First show?
My first show.
Yo,
and I've put together shows, but I haven't done it on this scale where I was able to say this is our show.
I can imagine now that you already had experienced that type of all of the above, the emotions, any
We can
next
do
shows. We
anything.
could do anything.
We can do anything.
What doesn't kill you make you stronger. That's what Kanye West would say.
Exactly.
When, you know, I have an interesting like thing about what I said about Kanye. So I remember in our training camp, like way back, in our agency, I remember this one training scout literally told me, you gotta walk
with a narcissistic Kanye face.
Not that. It's, hey, guys, I'm gonna say it, okay, guys, you gotta have confidence like Kanye loves Kanye. You gotta love yourself so much like Kanye loves Kanye. And of course, it really works. It really works. But of course, be mindful, be respectful of others, but you got to have that immense belief in yourself.
You have to.
But yeah, yep. That's the thing. So, wow, that's like was a sold out show, having all that above, all those emotions, all those above emotions. So, as of right now, like how you kind of staying motivated and being productive in your business. Like you have your business partners and everything's going pretty well and everything's kind of planned out more than 6 months or a year in advance, would you say so?
Yes and no.
Okay, let's hear the no.
Dealing with the music side can be any day. Anything can happen. It can be a tour. It can be a show. It can be I'm in the studio. Anything.
Speaking of the tour, like Drake's on tour right now.
Hey Drake.
Hey Aubrey, how's it going?
Come see what the agency got going. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a lot of different parts, so everything can be different. Every day can be different. People always contact us about last minute things or in advance, so we try to plan very much in advance. I'm very organized. However, things don't always go as planned, and life happens.
Do you feel like you have a plan B or C in your head, like mentally? It's like, all right, there's plan A, maybe 80% might happen.
You have to.
And then 20%, and then the 20%, like using the Pareto principle here, like 20%, it may not work. I already thought then 10 steps ahead. Me and my business partner already thought 10 steps ahead or something like that.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
And you have to be quick on your feet because anyone can cancel. Anything can happen, and it's a creative industry. So you have to be very mindful that everyone has their own schedules and everything can change. So you always just have to be like, well, if this happens, this can happen. But if you don't have that planned and it's a very unique situation, just be quick on your feet and improvise and thug it out.
Dug it out.
Dug it out.
Dug it out. Sound like a real Houstonian, even though you're from Wisconsin.
I rep Houston every now and then. I can't say I'm from here. I'm a Midwest girl.
I know you're a true Midwest girl, and trying to make you got your Houstonian badge from what I could say for myself. Like I've been living in Houston for like 15 or 17 years, and I'm actually not from Houston too. So
where are you from?
I thought I told you this.
Did you? Tell me again. We're here.
All right, I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I was born and raised in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for 6 years, and then I moved to the States due to my parents being expats, and just made the USA my home. And I did lived in the Midwest for 5 years, and then lived here in Houston for 15 plus years. So. And
now you love the heat.
Yeah, I love the heat. For anywhere in the tropics or the southeast. So yeah, so that's really great when you talk about like being a creative director. And do you also do modeling, which is very rare, but again, it's not impossible because you and me, we have seen like the icons of like Tyra Banks. She can still model, but she does know she knows how to be a businesswoman and be a creative director and actually teach other new upcoming models to maybe a little bit of Victoria Beckham and whatsoever, but you're still in a way modeling. So would you say you like to be 50-50, or it's just depending on like how you feel, and then of course any opportunity that pops up that you're modeling and being a creative director? But let's go to the modeling.
So I'm a model first.
You're a model first.
I'm a model first, manager and creative director second. If you can describe who I am as my career or personality a little bit, I would say I'm a mix of Kris Jenner and Tyra. If they had a baby or a little sister or someone, that's me. So the side of Kris Jenner,
The mastermind.
the manager, the mogul, and then you have Tyra, the trainer, the model, the creative director, the host. You know,
I love Tyra Banks' confidence though.
Yeah.
Kris Jenner is like kind of quiet, but she's in the background.
She's quiet, but she's fierce.
Yeah, she's fierce.
She's gonna hop
go.
on a call. She's gonna send that
She'll
email.
close
She's gonna
that
get on
deal.
that contract. She's gonna be, you know, I watched her masterclass. Awesome.
Wait, she has a
Oh my
masterclass?
God.
Wait,
It's
actually,
so good.
I should not assume that any successful
Almost
people-
everyone has a masterclass.
Everyone has
now.
a masterclass.
Yeah. But yeah, her masterclass is awesome. But yeah, to answer that, I'm a mix of both. It's not when I feel like it. It's just whenever it's time. So if I'm doing a lot of directing, a lot of people ask like, "Are you going to be in the video? Are you going to be in the show? Are you going to be in this?"
You have the look.
Thank you.
You have the look.
I have the look. I still got it. I still model very often. I had a shoot today, so I still model very often. But when I'm doing directing, I'm directing. I'm in a different type of mode. I am seeing something different. When I'm modeling, I have a little bit more fun modeling.
And modeling is fun, yes.
Modeling's so fun. You can be a different character. You're excited. You're showing these different array of emotions. As a director,
You like to do commercial or you like to do runway?
Ooh.
Or fashion?
Honestly, I love runway.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for runway. I feel like I've been put in a very commercial box because I'm very like bubbly and I can just like smile and that's it. We got the shot.
Yeah.
But definitely high fashion runway is like all up my alley. Editorials, the cringy weird things. The cringy weird things, very Vogue. Yeah. That's up my alley.
Mm-hmm. Wow, like, you know, has anyone ever told you you have a doppelganger? Because in the modeling world, I feel like we will get comments about doppelgangers.
I get that. I've gotten that once. A few people have sent me pictures. When Instagram first started, someone looked just like me, and I was like, "That is." At first, I thought they sent a picture of myself, and I was like, "Why'd you send that?" And then I realized I was like, "Wait, that's not me." But I've had that happen a few times where someone's like, "Oh, I thought this was you," and sent them over.
What about celebrity doppelgangers?
Oh yeah, I get Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion? Well, she is for TSU.
Yeah. So I get that a lot. I've gotten Melanie Fiona. Carrie Hilson is one that I get a lot, for sure. But I think that's really it. Raven Simone.
Raven
I got
Simone,
that black
that's
girl
so Raven.
up. Yeah.
Did you have the dreads?
I didn't. Before the dreads, I would get like, especially when I was a little bit younger, it's like, they're like, "Oh my God, you're like a little Raven."
Oh my God.
I didn't mind because I was a Cheetah Girl fan, so I was okay with it.
Oh my God, Cheetah Girls. Yo, that was...
Growl power.
Exactly, no. I grew up watching That's a Raven, and I love when she had that thinking moment. It's like, wait, predicted the future.
Like, yeah.
You want to hear what I think, what I thought your doppelganger was? I think you'll laugh.
Oh my gosh, tell me.
I was thinking of Lala Anthony.
How did I forget Lala? How did I forget Lala? I get that too. And honestly,
smile.
I admire that. Recently, she liked my story and looked at my story, and I was geeking. I was like, oh my gosh, Lala liked my story. That's my twin. Yes, Lala is literally, I don't know why I didn't think of her.
Do you want to you want to give a shout out to Lala?
Hey, Lala. Hey, girl. Twinning. You know, let's get lunch sometime on you. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, be part of the Serenity Project.
Or hey, hire us for the next anything you need me to direct. I'm here.
Wow, I knew that was like a doppelganger, but I never kind of told you till now. But yeah, so as we already come from the thrive part and we're almost strengthening the vibe part, yeah, this is the most fun thing. Yeah, so vibe. So out of creative directing mode, out of modeling, what do you really like to do? What does Serenity Hill like to do like outside of that?
Camping.
You don't strike me. Well, actually, I take that back. You do strike me as a camping girl right now with your fit.
The bucket hat gave it away. Yes, I'm from the Midwest. I was a Girl Scout from like 5 years old to like 13.
Well,
I
you
was there for a while. So we camped at least 3 times a year, either with my school or I went to Montessori school. So we did a lot of things differently. We went on a lot of field trips, camping trips, everything. So being in the Midwest, you had the opportunity to camp a lot and be in nature.
especially
So
in Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah, I really took that opportunity to go ahead and be in nature, and I do it often. We have a tent, and it sleeps at least like 6 to 8 people, very spacious. I know how to put it up, put it down, have all the equipment. So I'm a camper.
You're
I
a
actually
camper.
want to camp very soon.
Oh yeah.
Once it's like not hot.
I have to say, like, camping is really great. I think everyone should camp, regardless who you are, is to truly reset, like, subconsciously or consciously, and something you will learn more about yourself. Even if you don't know how to do camping, you should really, obviously don't camp alone.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can camp alone. I definitely would
I
want
mean,
to try it.
for first time though, I wouldn't.
Probably not the first time, go with
Yeah.
a group or a few people, but
Or do a transition, like, okay, maybe not a tent, do a log cabin. That log cabin.
I mean, they
involvement.
have screen shelters where you can, be in a house that looks like a cabin, but it's just all screen and wood.
Yeah.
So you have your options, but I like a good tent. I like a hammock being out. I like, just being one with nature, especially I live a very fast-paced life. Sometimes I won't have an off day for about 2 weeks or,
2 weeks. Wow.
I'm, just going in and out of town.
Like, how do you even sleep properly? Like,
As if I get 5.5 hours, I take micro naps, 10 to 12 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. I nap a lot. If I'm on a road trip, going to the one city to the other, definitely take a nap in the car. But yeah, camping allows my mind to recharge. It allows my body to just, rest. I don't have service out there, so I can stay off my phone. And I can just really just be one with nature, write and, be in my own thoughts, be with my friends, cook food and figure out how to do it out there,
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah. Like, what's one of your favorite camping spots? I have some favorite camping spot of my own, but I want to hear yours.
So I have 2. I have one that's in Wisconsin that's called Crystal Lake.
Ooh, I've been there, yeah.
Terrible mosquitoes, but it's a really, really, really awesome campsite. And then here, I cannot remember the name of it, but there's one called Martin Dye St. Junior Park, something like that. But that park it's pretty fun. It's far in a way, but I like it. The further you are, the better the nature.
Absolutely.
The better the organic setup of everything.
So all in Wisconsin, right?
Oh no, that one is
that's
one here in Texas. But the first one was in Wisconsin, Crystal Lake.
I see. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of the Lake Chequamegon. That's also in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And there's also, you've been there. Oh, you've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't been there.
Oh, I've been there. That was like, I think that was the best camping site. It was like, for me at least, because it was just a true hidden gem. There was like very little to no people at all. And I was there with like 3 guys, and we had to get like, I had to buy a machete because we were like, just in case, just worst case if like a bear comes in, or we had to chop woods, and yeah, that's like I spent like 3 days there. Best thing ever. I felt like I was like a jungle boy.
And I love it. There's another one in Houston. Well, not in Houston, but in Texas.
Okay,
there is
Texas.
one in Houston that's like 45 minutes away. If you're like in the inner city, it's only 45 minutes away. I'll go to that one too. I can't think of the name. And it's a quick getaway. If you don't want to drive far, it's a quick little getaway. And then there's another one that has like yurts and tents, and they have a community area where they have music and you can play what sing-alongs and different things and have little bonfires. It's really nice. I like the community. I like the fact that you can just like meet new people in these campsites, or hiking and canoeing, kayaking. That's my vibe. That's what I do on my off days. Other than that, I'm writing, I'm working 24/7.
Yeah. You ever go to like any like travel like for travel for like for in the beach, or you like to go in the city? Or like real city like New York City or Chicago?
So being from Milwaukee, I travel to Chicago very often. It's like right next door. So I love going to Chicago for the food. I like the late night. I like how everyone's friendly and walking everywhere. I love to walk somewhere. So that's really fun. I would like to travel more internationally.
Yeah. When's
And
the
make
last time you
time
traveled
for it.
internationally?
Oh my goodness, probably about 5 years ago.
You're like
Five and a half. I went to, well, no, I went to Spain
Oh,
5.5
Spain.
years ago, and then I went to Mexico about a year and a half ago. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to go back to Spain. I was there for 10 days, but I feel like I could have been there longer. It was just so much fun, so much to look at. You know, their natural architecture is beautiful.
In Spain, like would you and of course going to Spain, like you had to kind of learn some Spanish, but of course they probably speak English. Like I think do you also speak other languages too, or you're trying to learn another new language?
So I don't, but my Spanish was very, very good. My sister speaks Spanish. She went to a Spanish immersion growing up, so
Yeah.
she's bilingual, and she taught me a lot. And I went through Spanish school, and I was great. But it's kind of rusty. But when we went to Mexico, they said it was fine, so I was able to maneuver through Mexico. So in Barcelona, they told me I was a bit traditional with my Spanish, but they said I can get away with it. But they were like, "You're all right."
You're right.
But don't test me. Don't test me.
Yeah. No, I won't test you about it. Yeah, but it was like when you. I just want to touch up more about Spain. So you only been to Barcelona, or you've been checked out Madrid, or
I was supposed to be there. So I was in Barcelona and Ibiza.
Ibiza?
That was really,
That's
really,
party city there.
It was. We saw the DJ Black Coffee.
I love DJ
live.
Black Coffee. He was actually in Houston, I think, a few months ago here.
Yeah, and it was really dope. It was really fun. Everyone, if you don't want to talk to strangers, don't go there. Everyone is very friendly. Everyone's around. It's very freedom land, party land. The city does not sleep. You hear EDM music the moment you wake up and the moment you go to sleep. And it was awesome.
No, man. And then, of course, the food there is definitely a very different, like from the paella and everything.
That
I know
was
you.
awesome.
And actually,
that was at Barcelona. I had like fresh, like going from an island, like off from there to an island where they had a restaurant with all this different like authentic food. It was incredible. I can't describe what I was eating, but it was all fresh and it was just so good.
Oh, no, it's amazing. And speaking of food, I know you're a big foodie. I don't know if I consider myself a foodie, but I like to cook my food, like all my food in house or maybe at people's house, and try to challenge myself. But any favorite foods that you love to cook?
Everything.
Everything.
So I am also a personal chef.
You're a personal chef?
I used to do it more when I was a little bit younger. I had so much experience at different kitchens, and
how'd you get into personal chef? Wow.
just working in the kitchen, like being a waitress. I will, be like, hey, you guys need help back here. I've always been really into cooking since I was a kid. And when I was able to cook in these kitchens and do meal prep and do different things like that, I took it on my own. So I would do meal prep when I was like in beauty school and helping people and just doing personal cooking and catering. And I got into that. So I actually have a business with it that I use when I'm on set directing called Delish by the Serenity Project. So we do meal prep and catering and all types of sorts of things. But my favorite thing to cook is probably Italian food or anything with a good sauce. I can make a great sauce and I can make a great brunch. I can make eggs almost any way. A whole spread, homemade French toast. I like comfort foods. So Italian foods, comfort, brunchy type foods. Yeah. I love it.
Wow. I did not know you had a meal prep. And probably I thought
I'm always cooking, so I had to.
Yeah, and then do you think you picked that up from your parents, or you just you go back to like you were a waitress and you thought like I want to take a swing at this.
So my dad did a lot of the cooking growing up, and I was always in the kitchen, always. So that was just something I wanted to be involved with. I made my first Thanksgiving meal when I was 9 years old.
By yourself or for the whole
By myself.
The
turkey, the whole process.
Like when you make it for yourself, or versus like you did it yourself, but you make it for the whole Like
I
his
made
whole
it for the
family?
whole family.
Oh, dang.
At 9, they
Oh,
trusted
at
me.
9?
At 9,
Oh
and
man, they trust 9-year-old Serenity with the stuffing,
yeah, everything,
everything.
the whole menu, and I'm
Were
really
they?
grateful that they allowed me to have that creativity being 9 years old, and they still say that was like the best food, the best turkey they've ever had.
Well,
So I grew up watching cooking shows.
Wow, 9-year-old me, I'd burn myself. I didn't actually, for me specifically, as a man, I didn't start really seriously cooking like till I met you. Yeah, like 20,
Oh my God.
22, 23. Like I seriously, like 2015, I just graduated college and I started my corporate job, and then I realized, okay, officially truly moving out of my parents' house, like after college. And it was like, I can't do microwavable steak or whatever. Gotta really like cook. And I remember I was like, my very first meal I was cooking, I was trying to boil chicken and it was burnt.
Boiled chicken, oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, just want to make shredded chicken, but I set the fire alarm off like in my apartment.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. 9-year-old me was watching cooking shows and meal prepping and making my mise en place and all of that. Like,
yeah, wow. And then even as till now, like you still cook every now and then, or you're so super busy that you could hire a chef, or you could hire a meal prep or buy a meal prep in advance just to save time.
I'm the chef.
You're the chef.
I cook almost every day. When I cook one meal, I plan for the next day. That's just how I cook. If there is, if I'm cooking for other people too, because I don't eat everything, I always just plan ahead.
Yeah.
Because it's already here. You might as well. You're gonna be hungry tomorrow. You might as well.
Do you like to calculate your macros? Like, of course, you make comfort food, but do you like to really see like, okay, not too much sauce, or just, you know what, it's whatever.
Everything's in moderation. I have days where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want a really greasy
pizza
or a burger or something, like a veggie burger, lamb burger, or something, something like super greasy or super like fat.
Yeah.
So I have those days, but I've always eaten really healthy. My siblings used to tease me about that growing up, but I never really liked candy that much. Like I would eat chocolate every now and then, but I've always been very health conscious growing up, or making smoothies and always into something like that. So my parents always supported that. Like I was drinking almond milk before it was really trending, and really? I was like, can we change our milk? Can I change to this? Can I make, I always brought my lunch growing up. School food made me sick.
Yeah.
Since I was like in elementary school, so I always brought something, and I would make my lunches for the most part, because I was just super independent. I just knew how I wanted, certain things.
Yeah. Well, I'll give a shout out to my mom. Like she always cooked me like traditional like Malaysian dishes, and it's all home cooked. She didn't know how to portion, but it was just healthy, and it's a lot better. And it made my friends in elementary and middle school was like, what is that? and they wanted a piece of it instead of just like whatever.
Here it
is. Yeah. I come to think of it, what if in another alternate universe, or maybe fashion wasn't really handed to you, do you think you would go the cooking route? Like,
100%. I told myself,
like go to culinary school, really go all out, and then you be like a Michelin chef.
That was the dream. That was plan A. Plan A was to be a chef.
Really?
To go to culinary school in New York, and that's what I wanted to do. That was like, my mind was really set on just being a chef. I wanted a 5-star hotel restaurant, and everyone was like, why a hotel restaurant?
Like, what specialty of food you think you would like to, like your signature type of dishes would you want to do? Like
can't
Italian?
Disclose all the way, because I'm working on a food truck situation in the near future that I've been like trying to think about, that I've been like on and off pondering for like years now, but that's something I've thought about for a while. But I would want to have a variety of foods.
Put me in your VIP list. I'll be there.
You'll be there for the opening.
Absolutely. I'll be there for the soft. I'll be there for the soft opening.
The tasting of the food.
Absolutely.
And everything. Yeah. So I wanted to have a variety of different meals from different backgrounds and different cultures. Things I grew up with, food that you would never want to pair together. I'm all for different pairings and trying new things.
Yeah.
So I would want a mix of everything, and keep it still very like fine dining without having to break the bank. And I say hotel restaurant because I will like people from different backgrounds and different parts of the world to visit. When you go to a hotel that you really like, you're like, oh, I'm going to go there because of that restaurant, or oh, I'm going to go there because of the service. I want to go there for that. I want them to be like, oh, I'm going to go there because of the food, the service, the atmosphere. It's very serene. It's very this, very that. So I definitely.
I like how you said serene for a second. I see you.
Yeah, it's going to be peace wherever I go. It has to be. That's my name. So I have to live that out
Well, your parents did you right. Your parents definitely did you right with that. So like, I've always thought like this is my strongest theory about food. To me, presentation is great, taste is great, but I want to always hear a story, and the way how you have like any real fine dining experience, it's always about the story, like the build up of like how a chef would say like, okay, this is it, this is the escargot, and talk about a little story, and then you really take a bite of it, and then you have to chew it slowly to really kind of like
to enjoy the food.
To enjoy the food, and some food, if properly, can make you cry. Like, again, I'll talk about like we can go to like the animation of that Ratatouille, like of that one end scene of like the guy who's a food critic and he enjoyed his food because it really revolved about his childhood. To one time I did also travel to New Orleans and I saw a man who really tried some gumbo, and he cried on the spot and said, "This is just like how my grandmama makes it."
Wow.
And I'm just like, all right, I think that's what I could see, and that was a moment I felt to myself, like food has an amazing, powerful effect. It's one of the great, I would say, trinity of things that can bring people from all walks of life together.
Right.
We can all disagree on politics. We can all disagree on which is better, but food and music.
It brings people together.
It brings people together. Even if you've never tried the food, you don't need to like the food, but hey, just try it out.
And that experience itself of trying the food creates its own story.
Yeah. So if I want to invite everyone and say, hey, just come through. What's going to be there? There's going to be lots of food. I'll come through.
Come through, make a plate.
Come through, make a plate. Just grab a plate. That's all good. Yep. So, so camping, food cooking, and so like what about family? Like are your mom and dad or your parents or relatives in Wisconsin, or some of them are in Texas?
Yes, both. So I have my dad and my brother, my nieces, all in Wisconsin. I have my mom here, my sister's in like Alabama, another sister in Dallas. So we're a little bit spread out, but we make our way to each other very often. I travel back to home very often, and they'll see us, birthdays, holidays.
Wait, so what is home? Is home here or home in back?
Home is always Milwaukee.
Oh,
home
man.
is always Milwaukee.
Oh, it's always in Milwaukee.
Sorry.
You could be.
Houston is a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone.
It's a long stepping stone.
It's a very long stepping stone.
So yeah, it's a very long stepping stone. I can kind of consider Houston home, but it's so hard to say that, especially I just came from Milwaukee probably 3.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm still a little homesick because when I go there, it's it's childhood. It's different rush of emotions. It's my upbringing. So that's more so home. But I have family a little bit everywhere.
Yeah. Would you say, what do you like to give our listeners and viewers something about Milwaukee? Of course, people in the U.S., they obviously know a lot about Wisconsin, from the University of Madison, Wisconsin, to the Madison Lake Packers. Of course, Aaron Rodgers went to the New York Jets, but
we won't talk about that.
We won't talk
we
about
won't
that.
Talk about
and
that.
And he really.
We just said we won't talk about it.
Okay. No, he got a little bit hard, recently. So. Yeah, what is something that is really just only from Milwaukee, Wisconsin you want to share? Like a very cool hidden fact that no one knows, but they should know.
Okay, a few things that was kind of compact, but They have the Wisconsin cheese market.
I had a feeling you were going to talk about cheese.
You have to try the cheese, and a lot of Milwaukeeans don't realize how pivotal that is. You have to try the Wisconsin cheese market. It has a restaurant connected to it. The whole area reminds you of Houston, in that if you're in the Heights or downtown, Midtown, all the different historic places, a lot of places where presidents have eaten there, little hole in the walls. They have castles still.
Wait, what? Castles?
Yes.
Whoa.
On the south side of Milwaukee.
Are we talking about like those Disney type of castles? Or are we talking about like Fortnite?
Back in the day, like real castles. Like there's a lot of historic buildings in Wisconsin that you just have to go see. Old creepy hospitals turned into apartments or museums. A lot of really random, peculiar things that have taken place. They have it there. A lot of history.
Wow.
Definitely try the cheese though.
I know.
And the Milwaukee Public Market, awesome. Has like the boardwalk, the water, lots of great food, vegan food, great drinks, everything.
Vegan in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That doesn't really hit me.
It has vegan food and it has all types of food. But I'm saying like it caters to everyone. Yeah. It has everything.
I knew you were going to talk about cheese because I was a temporary cheesehead whenever I visit Wisconsin.
You have to. There's fudge cheese. Have you tried fudge cheese?
I have
It sounds
tried fudge
nasty,
cheese.
but it's pretty interesting. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to buy a whole brick of it, but a little bite here and there doesn't hurt.
I feel like for your birthday, I'm going to buy you a bunch of cheese.
I won't be mad at it. I still order from them. They send it in a cute yellow like lunchbox that's like insulated. It's cool.
I don't know why I think
Shout out Wisconsin Cheese Market.
I still think of Lunchables and Lunchables and this thing you said, but now our adult they're now grown to adults is our Lunchables is charcuterie board.
Yes, you have to have a charcuterie.
Yes, and for those of you guys who don't know what a charcuterie board it is, think of this is like the board or the cutting board, and you lay out whatever protein, whether it's salami or beef salami, and every specific type of cheese, and you pair it up with any type of drink, mostly wine. So that's your.
And don't forget your olives, and sometimes your pickles and crackers and.
Okay, crackers
honey, jam, nuts. You have so much you could do on a charcuterie.
Oh man.
Fruit.
All you want, all you want, but.
But the main thing is cheese.
Cheese and meat. Absolutely cheese. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite snack. Cheese and olives.
Cheese and olives. That actually sounds. I actually feel like that's brunch food too. That's brunch food too.
You know what? Maybe Houston is growing on me. They're very brunchy, so maybe that's okay.
Bring it to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and maybe they'll thank you for it. You'll be an icon there.
Right.
Absolutely. You were like, I'm bringing Houston to Milwaukee.
Right on. That's exactly it.
It all makes sense now.
Putting the pieces together.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. So we talk about the food, talk about the traveling, talk about your family. Home is really Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And yeah, we're almost kind of like near end of it with Thrive. I mean, was it that? With our time. So, any advice or quote that you live by that you want to share with our viewers and listeners to how they really want to get to where you are at right now, whether it be a creative director or just you trying to know how to reset and have how to vibe?
Mm-hmm. So I would say just start. Whatever you want to do, just start it and just take that leap of faith. Even if it may fail, start something that you really love, that you're really good at, and stay consistent with it. Consistency is hard, but if you do it for the right reasons and stay true to yourself, don't compromise for the industry. I tell my talent that all the time. Do not compromise yourself for the industry. Whatever the industry you're in, whatever it is, stay true to yourself because that's what's going to take you the distance. Mm-hmm. So just start and stay true to yourself and let everything else happen naturally. If it's for you, it's going to be for you. It may not be right now. Delayed is not denied. It may not happen now. It may happen later. I did not think I'll be where I will be with the great team that I have now. I just thought I wanted to model in my mind, but that vision was so small. But I had to be, true to all the things that I love to do, and was like, okay, I see these things happening. I'm really good at it. Let me just start it. What happens? The worst thing a person can say is no. A door can close. I've been on so many auditions. I've had doors close, that didn't stop me. That didn't I've had even more opportunities because doors have closed. Those doors weren't for me to walk in. So when you look at it like that, it's just like, you just have to start.
You just have to start. And also and I think I like it that I want to add that what you said, perspective, like, the passing of that one, designer, like you were able to change your perspective, thinking it was all the above, but it started as realistically as tragic, but turns out something very peaceful because you were able to honor it. So I was like, you changed my perspective. If anything really bad happens, like, again, I don't want to wish that to anyone, but still, when it does, like,
because at any moment you can give up in a situation like that.
You have every right to give up.
You could just be like, it's easy to send an email saying we're going to cancel the show or cancel this, or we're not going to do this. But I was like, you know what? What would that person do? How can I do something to make this in a light where we can really all come together? And that's what it was. I couldn't just stop. It was so much invested. It would be like, well, what happens if something else was to happen? I had to ask myself that, and I'm like, we have to go. I get it now when people say the show must go on. It's not because, time and money. It's because it's something bigger than that. It's not just for you at that point. It's for everyone else. And everyone's watching you, watching how you handle things, watch how you deal with everything. And that's really important. And the people really everyone came together, and it was beautiful.
And I think I want to add one more thing. It's like, true character development doesn't really appear in the great times, but when in the most worst of the time, that's where true character really shows and develops. And the fact that how you were able to tell me that story shows that you are the creative director. You are the Serenity. You're not Serenity Hill. You are the Serenity Hill. And I want to bless you with more success, with more opportunities for you and for your talents and for the company.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me on the show. Like, this has been so fun. I'm happy we were able to reconnect. This has been awesome.
It feels like I still feel like yesterday. It's like we were just
we were just little models shooting comps.
Yep, I know.
Eating fruit and charcuterie.
Were we?
We had fruit, and then they had donuts.
Okay, I'm about to say, like, there was no charcuterie there.
I had charcuterie.
Oh, yeah. Well, lucky you. All right. So, of course, like, how would our viewers and listeners want to follow you on your social media? So, yeah.
So you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok under the Serenity Hill, and you can follow our company under Instagram, the Serenity Project Group.
And of course, any future models or talents.
Yes, if you have any talent, sorry to cut you off. If you have any talent, if you're an influencer, a holistic healer, an artist, model, actor, definitely we are looking for you. If you want to find work, or if you're looking for training, come check us out.
Yep. All right. Perfect. Serenity, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.